Coming up in tonight's show, tragedy can strike at any time, but that doesn't mean we're going to be prepared. Tonight's guest's life took a dramatic turn after she was caught in a house fire at the age of just 8. Her whole life was turned upside down and she transformed from being a happy child to becoming withdrawn and depressed. Eventually, everything became too much and she became suicidal. But miraculously, through the power of faith, she overcame this. And today, she's just 18 years old and an inspiration to others who've suffered tragedy themselves. Stay tuned for the full story.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's Finding Answers. Now, we have many guests on Finding Answers who have quite amazing stories to tell. And tonight's guest is no different. She has an outstanding and amazing story that, you wouldn't believe that someone who is only 18 years old has gone through what she did. And she's here today to tell her story and to encourage you who are watching tonight, who may be thinking, I've run out on luck. I don't think anyone has gone through what I've gone through, and I can't see a way out. Well, my guest will be sharing her story on tonight's program. So I want you to stay tuned, because after this short testimony of someone who through faith was able to beat the odds, I'll tell you tonight's topic, all right? So join me right after this.
Well, I just used to look in the mirror and I was just down. I really didn't like what I saw. I couldn't smile.
I was filled with all kinds of depression, anger, even though I was inside a church.
Horrible moment for me, waking up in the morning and just having to look at myself and think, that's who I am really. I couldn't accept myself for who I was.
I was thinking to myself, if I'm here, been in the church for a year, how come I'm not moving forward?
I used to walk with my head down all the time, and a lot of people mentioned it to me actually, how down I looked, literally just looking at the floor all the time.
So this caused me to be very distressed. It caused a lot of, frustration inside of me, and I just didn't know what to do.
Because I couldn't look at people, I always thought that they were thinking what I was thinking and that they were judging me and that they thought exactly as I was thinking. And the way I saw myself, I thought that that's exactly how they saw me, in such a negative light.
I heard about many other campaigns, but those campaigns, I just decided to push them to the side. I didn't take them seriously. But this campaign, I said, no, enough is enough.
I was invited to the church first, and obviously when I came here, for a good few years, I was very closed up, so I didn't want to speak to anybody, to be honest.
This wall that is there inside of me, this wall that's impeding me from, growing to that expectation that I want to grow, then it's going to be knocked down today because I had enough.
I took part in a Purpose of Faith, and it really helped me overcome, this issue that I was dealing with, because I was able to pour everything out.
I gave my physical sacrifice, meaning that I decided to walk to church, I decided to walk to places, walk, certain distances.
Everything that had been buried inside, I was able to let go of. And at the end of it, I just felt so relieved,
I fasted, I prayed, I read my Bible. I did things that I never done before. And you may say, oh, you're meant to read your Bible, you're meant to pray, but I didn't. That's why I was still stuck.
It helped me develop my confidence levels. It really helped me, I was able to put my head high.
I decided to give my all financially, physically, and spiritually. And I can say now the results are great.
It was just joy and peace after, because when you have things inside of you and you feel like you can't talk to anybody, or you feel like you can't open up about it, and you finally do, it's amazing, honestly.
When I say great, it's I'm happy inside. And this happiness is not, sometimes, it's all the time. I'm always happy. I'm always smiling because I know what I have inside of me.
So today, I'm confident. I love who I see in the mirror, and yeah, I'm just loving me.
But today, I'm completely different, and I'm thankful that I took part in this campaign. Whenever there's an opportunity for a campaign to come by, I will take it wholeheartedly. I will grab it, because I know the change that happened inside of me is great.
Welcome back to the program. Now, tonight's topic is it's possible to overcome a tragedy at such a young age. And as I said just before that testimony, my guest is only 18 years old. And, you know, she has gone through a lot in her young life. But amazingly enough, she's here to tell the tales, her story of what she went through. And maybe you are down, you know, you are going through a lot now. You can't see a way out from your problems. You think life is over for me. Well, it's not over. As you're going to hear, you know, everyone who's come on the program, as I said, they have come and they've told us how they are able to, you know, to overcome problems. Depression. Can you tell me anyone who was beaten depression, who's overcome it and no longer is back on medication or in a hospital or anything like that? Can you tell me anyone who has incurable diseases and today the doctors have confirmed many years later that they are healed? Stories like this can only happen through the power of faith. And no, I'm not a doctor. No, I'm not a psychiatric nurse. But what we have is faith to give to you. So if you've tried everything and you still haven't found the answer, then our answer to you on Finding Answers is to try faith. With me tonight, as usual, is Rachel. Good evening, Rachel.
Good evening, Pastor, and good evening to you at home. Now, this is a really interesting topic about tragedy, because one thing which I've been researching is the way in which people deal with these huge events in their life, regardless of what age they are. And there's a lot of research to suggest that when you have some kind of hugely horrible kind of tragedy or any sort of event like that in your life, there's one specific example I can think of, which is when people lose their legs and their arms. I think this has a specific term which I can't remember at the moment. When you lose both your legs and your arms, you would think a lot of people would go into this depression and would probably not come out of it, or you'd think, you know, it's going to be very difficult to regain any sort of stability or normality in your life. But actually what the study found is that these people, whether they were depressed beforehand or whether they were happy beforehand, actually after a series of months went back to this original state of mind. So they found that actually, if you're happy to begin with, you can go through many different things, difficult situations in life, and it might take time, but you will actually regain that balance again in the future. And it's the same if we see people who maybe have won the lottery or something absolutely amazing has happened to them, and you think, this person has to be happy. But actually, it all depends on your mindset to begin with. I don't know if you agree with this tonight, Pastor Michael.
Well, recently we had on the news a young race car driver, right, who lost his leg. I don't know if you saw that in the news. He had his one leg amputated, and you would think that he would kind of end it all there. You know what, I can't drive again. But I think it was last week, he actually got back into a car and he's driving again. So, you know what, it is possible for, no matter what you've gone through, for you to move on. And you know what, if you say to yourself, you know what, I did it of my own accord. You know, I have a strong mind. I'm determined, no matter the tragedy that's taken place in my life, then all well and good to you. But what if you've tried everything and yet your life is still stuck? Well, this is where faith comes in, because God himself doesn't want you to be stuck in your life. If you don't want to, then God doesn't want that either. He wants you to get up off your feet. He wants you not to look back. He wants you, and anyone else around you would want that as well. But maybe because of what's happened to you, you can't actually see a way out. Well, faith is able to help you look forward, to see that there is a future for you. And on tonight's program, my guest will be sharing her story. And as I said before, she's only 18 years old. If you'd like to contact us, you want to speak to someone regarding what you've gone through in life, then our line is open right now. The number to call is 0207 686 6300. 0207 686 6300. If you would like to contact us on social media, Rachel has all the information. Rachel?
As always, I have the information to hand. You can look us up on Facebook. If you look up Finding Answers, maybe you want to share a story that you have with us on Facebook. You can do that. You can share your stories. Maybe you've been through a tragedy. Maybe you're struggling with this yourself. Well, do get in touch and let us know. You can like, you can comment. Do remember to follow us to see all of the posts on your newsfeed. You can also look us up on Instagram as well. If you search Finding Answers, you can see some behind the scenes footage. And again, you can comment and let us know what you think of the show. Now, if you want to look up some old episodes, also remember to subscribe to our YouTube page. So again, look up Finding Answers, click subscribe, and give us a thumbs up on all of those videos which you're enjoying. So I think that's it for the social media tonight.
Right, there you have it. If you are going through a problem, if you are stuck, if you can't see a way out, then stay tuned, because after the break, we have an inspiring story just for you. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after this break.
Do the maths. Changing your life is not as simple as changing your hairstyle, your shirt, or rearranging the furniture in your living room. You're talking about years of deep-rooted habits, behaviours and problems that are not going to change overnight. Many may say, think positively, but the trouble with that is that you can't do or change anything with just thoughts. But add action into the equation and the outcome can be different. Let's do the maths. Positive thinking plus action equals a change. Whatever it is, if the change is significant, if it's worthwhile, then it will have to take time, effort and homework from you.
Hi, I'm Chrissy B and my show is all about improving your mental health and being happy. Join me every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 10 p.m. on my channel Sky 203. Visit chrissybshow.tv for more information and subscribe to our YouTube channel Chrissy B Show. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Chrissy B Show and on our Facebook page, The Chrissy B Show.
Welcome back to Finding Answers. Now, tonight's topic is it's possible to overcome a tragedy at such a young age. And I want you to meet my guest for this evening. She has an intriguing, an amazing story. And I want you to stay tuned. Sometimes we think we go through problems in life, but when you hear her story, you may think again. Let's meet her now.
Pushing me for the rest of the week, so it's like a boost.
Things were really tight.
Today, the way I see myself is completely different.
My guest for this evening is Tatyana Findlater-Ashitey. It's a mouthful, isn't it?
I do.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Now, Tatyana, you've gone through a lot, and you're only 18 years old. Mm-hmm. I've said that about 4 times tonight already. But your story is an inspiring one because you're here to tell the tale. You've beaten, what most adults still have. They go through less than what you've gone through, and yet they still have, depression. They turn to drink, they turn to drugs to kind of drown their sorrows, things like that. But you are here, right? And it's all through faith, isn't it?
Yes.
Why you are here today. It's probably plain to see for some, but not others. You had a tragic accident at a young age, right?
Yes, I did.
Can you tell us about that, please?
Well, it was the day after my birthday, and it was kind of, the excitement was still there, so I was playing at home. I was at home by myself, and then what I remember is fire caught on the T-shirt I was wearing at the time, and so it was within seconds I was just engulfed in flames, and I was running around my house.
Was that from your birthday cake or candles?
No, it was a lighter, if I remember correctly, and I was running around my house trying to figure out how I could get the fire out. So what I did, I initially rolled on the carpet.
So, sorry, this is your birthday. This is the day after your birthday?
Day after, yep.
Now, what happened? Was it a freak accident? Were you playing around with this lighter?
To be honest with you, I can't really remember because after I had my accident and woken up, it's like I had to learn everything before again.
Right, okay.
Because the memory was just gone.
So, you were rolling on the floor trying to...
Yeah, because I remember I saw that in school, but it didn't work. Right. So I ran straight to the bathroom in my house and got 5 basins of water. And then eventually after that, the fire was gone. And I remember I felt really cold afterwards. I was thinking, what's going on? I had to change my clothes because the clothes I was wearing initially started to melt into my skin. And then
Where was your family at this time?
At this time, my mum and my little brother had gone to the shop.
And it was just you alone in the house?
Because initially I didn't want to go. I was like, Mom, I don't want to go. And she's like, okay, fine, but be safe. And then she came back, and it's like she didn't have to say anything. She knew something was wrong. And she immediately called the ambulance. I had to be wrapped up in a really big duvet because I was so cold. My temperature was just going up and down. Right. And I remember just going straight into the ambulance after that.
So can I ask you, where did you suffer burns?
I suffer burns on my chin, my neck, arms, back, chest.
Both arms?
Yep, both arms.
The whole of your back?
Yep, including my shoulder as well, chest and my legs. Okay.
Yeah. Do you know the percentage?
If I'm correct, it's within the 50s, 70s mark percentage.
Right.
And the severity of the burns vary as well.
Okay. So I take it you had to have a lot of surgery.
Yep.
Right? Tell us about what surgery did you have to have?
With burns, the surgery is very complicated because when you first get burnt, you have to have skin staples. So, for example, me, I had to have skin staples all up both my legs. I think I had one in my arm as well, just to make sure the skin was staying together. You have to have a lot of skin grafts, make sure that your injuries don't get infected, things like this.
So skin grafts, if I'm right, correct me if I'm wrong, is where you take skin from somewhere else, is that correct? And
put it on another area, yep.
Right. You said you had to have staples as well to hold the skin that was there into place. That must have been painful for you, right?
It was, because I didn't want to be in hospital. I was 8 years old. I was like, why am I here? I'd rather be out playing, enjoying life, but I was in hospital, and my condition was so bad I had to have my own room. I couldn't be on the ward with other children.
In case you caught an infection or something like that. How long were you actually in hospital for?
I think quite a few months, nearly a year.
Nearly a year?
Yeah.
In that hospital? So
in that hospital.
Your family were coming and seeing you every day?
It was a shift. So, for example, my mum would come in the week, and then during the weekend my grandmother would come because she wasn't working, and then she'd leave on Sunday, and then my mum would come back, and it's just a shift, continuous shift.
So, there was physical injuries, but there was the emotional and, the mental injuries as well. So tell us, how did that accident affect you mentally?
Mentally, it affected me very badly because I didn't see myself as the same person I was before my accident. It's like I felt alien in my own skin, and I just used to look at myself. I'd want to cry. I'd be like, why can't I change this? Have I done something wrong? Why is it happening to me?
Was that in hospital or when you were actually out?
In and out of hospital as well. And this was when I was 8 years old. So I was thinking, why? I want to change. I used to think of ways if I could. I used to pray and be like, can I change it? Can I go back? It was horrible.
Can you remember the first time you saw yourself, in the mirror? You took off your shirt when you saw yourself in the mirror. What did you think?
I remember I cried. I cried because I was like, I knew this thing was never going to leave me. That's how I saw it as a thing, something that I just had to live with. And I was awfully upset. I didn't want to look at it. It was actually the day I remember when they first took off my bandages, and it was all red and it was kind of bumpy as well, and I was just like, okay, so now I have to live with this.
I take it eventually you went back to school. How long after the accident was that?
I got transferred from another hospital, and in that hospital I was, which was close to my house, had a hospital school, so I used to go there. And I liked it because it wasn't the fact that people had the same condition as I did, but there were children there who understood what it was like being in hospital, months, maybe weeks on end, not being able to conjugate with your friends, enjoy the life that you're supposed to live at that young age. But then I think it was 2 years after hospital school, I initially got transitioned very slowly back into the school I was going.
Right. So that transition, you're back in mainstream school now. You've got these scars. Did you have any bandages on that, or was it kind of okay?
I used to on my chest and my arms to make sure the skin was like going down, because when you first get burned, the skin is very bumpy, so you have to wear pressure garments and skin scraps to keep it like tight and flatten it.
Now you said that it was okay in the hospital school because everyone had faced a similar situation. Now you're outside now. I'm sure you felt alienated, right?
Yes.
How was that experience for you?
I didn't like to go to school. I liked to be in school, but the journey to go to school, because I remember there was actually one point I was going on the bus to school, and this man looked at me and he asked my grandmother what had happened to me. And she told him, and I got so angry. I was like, how dare you tell him? You don't know him like that to tell him my accident. It was the staring, the constant staring, and I felt like a freak initially because I never had to face that before. And it was now when everyone's staring at me, or they would whisper, like that sympathy whisper,
Let me go back to not just the day of the tragedy, but how did it affect your mum? Because you mentioned that she went out to the shops. She left you for, 15, 20 minutes?
Yep.
She comes back and she sees you, burning, right? These scars. How did it affect her?
My mum was deeply affected by my accident, and I didn't see the effects at first. It was when I had fully come home, and I was staying at my grandma's. And I see she used to say things like, I know it wasn't your fault. She used to say random things like, aliens did this or someone else did this. And I was like, hold on, whoa. That wasn't my mum when I was in hospital or beforehand. And it was good because my mum used to come and visit me, and she was always welcome because my grandmother's her mum. But it was then when she came one day, and then after that I never saw her again for at least 9 years, 9.5 years.
9 years? So what happened?
She'd suffered from depression. She got very depressed. She blamed herself for my accident, and she thought to feel less guilty, it would be better if she stayed away. So I didn't see her. I used to get birthday cards, Christmas cards, things like this, but cards to even say hi. But other than that, I wouldn't see her.
And you don't know where she went?
Nope.
No? You see how it doesn't just affect the victim of this tragedy, it affects those around. And maybe you are going through a situation. Maybe you're not the victim, but maybe you're a relative. You're blaming yourself, maybe, like like her mum did. And you don't know what to do. And, you know, in one hand, there is the victim having to, you know, train themselves to get back into normal life. And of course, a child at such a young age is going to get picked on. But there's also the family and friends around them who have to go through, you know, their struggles as well. Now, your mum went away. As you said, you don't know where she went.
No.
But you sensed there's something not right with my mum.
Mm-hmm.
Now, looking back, what happened to your mum?
It's like she mentally just broke down. I don't know what, I think obviously my accident was the trigger, but it was more after that I saw the actual effects of her mental state breaking down, because she started acting very strange, talking about how other people caused my accident. She would act very just weird around me, and I never knew why, but I still loved her because that was my mum.
Yeah. And how did your schooling go? What were your grades like?
Schooling for me, it was kind of hard because I had to take certain tests in hospital school, or they would send me test papers in hospital school. But then when I initially was fully established in hospital school, my grades were good. But then I started getting back into it, and it was okay. It was more okay grades. They weren't the best, but they were okay.
Okay. How did it affect your mental state now? Because, you know, it wasn't just getting back into school now and, okay, finishing schooling. It had a big effect on you, didn't it? Mm-hmm. Tell us what were the thoughts, what was going through your mind?
For me, I started to become depressed. I used to be very sad, so I would be out with people, I'd be smiling, having fun, but then when it was for me to come back and be in my room alone, I'd start crying. Sometimes I wouldn't even know why, but I would just want to cry. And then the thoughts came like, you should end it. It'd be better if you ended it. It'd be better for your nan, your mum, this person, if you just ended it all. And that's the thoughts that kept coming and coming. Or, oh, you're never going to change. You're going to stay like this forever. You're just going to be unhappy.
Did you try to take your life?
I was close at one point too, because there was just a day where I was in school and it felt like everything was just coming against me. So I was like, you know what? But then I can never do it because I always had this fear of after. What would happen after I did it?
Right. So we're going to go for a break now. You've heard her story, and there's a lot more to this, which we just don't have the time for. But maybe you've reached a point of ending your life because you can't see a way out. You've gone through a lot. You know, it's an accident, it's abuse of one form or another. But, you know, you're tormented. You know, you have inner demons that are tormenting you. And the only way that you see that you can end this is just to end your life. Well, I tell you, there's another option. That option is God. It's up to you if you want to take it or not, but we're here to say, we're here to tell you your life doesn't have to end tragically. You've gone through one tragedy or two or three, but it doesn't have to end in this way. You don't want your family, you know, suffering even more. So if you want our help, stay tuned. The number's on the screen. If you want to give us a call, it's 0207 686 6300. You can speak to one of our advisors who'll be able to talk with you. You know, pray. You can say a prayer for you if you wish. But stay tuned, because after the break, Tatyana will be explaining how she was able to beat these feelings, these suicidal thoughts, and how she's been able to move on in her life, okay? We'll see you right after this break.
Do the maths. Changing your life is not as simple as changing your hairstyle, your shirt, or rearranging the furniture in your living room. You're talking about years of deep-rooted habits, behaviours and problems that are not going to change overnight. Many may say, think positively, but the trouble with that is that you can't do or change anything with just thoughts. But add action into the equation and the outcome can be different. Let's do the maths. Positive thinking plus action equals a change. Whatever it is, if the change is significant, if it's worthwhile, then it will have to take time, effort, and homework from you.
Welcome back to Finding Answers. Now, just before the break, you heard Tatyana's tragic story of the accident that she suffered with the burns, 50 to 70% burns on her skin, how it affected herself and her family. But we've come to the best part of the program, which is today she has beaten all the odds. She's no longer depressed. She's no longer having those suicidal thoughts. Right, Tatyana?
Yes.
And also joining us on the sofa is Pastor David. How are you doing, Pastor David?
I'm fine, Pastor Michael. Thank you.
So let's hear Tatyana's story before we myself and Pastor David, we make our comments about her story. So Tatyana, tell us, how did you overcome these problems in life?
So I was still going through the problems, and my grandmother started attending a spiritual center.
Right.
And she was telling me, oh, it's amazing, I found help with this and this. And I was like, yeah, okay.
What was your gran going through?
My gran was going through the burden with me. So she would finish work at 5 o'clock. And for example, I'd be in hospital and she'd come straight and wouldn't leave till 10, 11, knowing that she had work again 9 a.m. that next day. So she'd be going with it through me, making sure I went into the theatre safely, changing my bandages, things like this.
Right. So it wasn't just the physical tiredness, but there was also that emotion, right?
Yeah.
Trauma that she'd gone through as well.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing her granddaughter go through that. So she found a place, right?
Yes.
And when she told you, you were like, no.
I was just like, I was like, they're saying your life can change and things like this. I was like, okay, it sounded nice for her, but for me, I said, my life can't change. It is the way it is.
So she saw changes going there?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what happened?
Initially, then, after that, I started to come and I came to one of the services on Thursday. And then after the service, the pastor came and spoke to me and was like, sit down, let's talk. And usually I wouldn't talk about my accident or what I'd been through in life to anyone. And I started to open up.
Just like that?
Yeah, and I thought it was strange because I'm like, hold on. Like, why am I telling him everything? I didn't even tell my nan everything at that point.
Right.
So I thought it was strange. I was like, no, this place is different. My nan was right.
Just by you opening up, you felt a difference there?
Yeah.
You felt at home, I could say.
Yes.
So the pastor, minister, whoever he was, you opened up to him?
Yep.
And what did he say to you? What did he advise you?
He's told me that my life can change and that I shouldn't be insecure about my scars, but I should be proud of them, that I've been through what I've been through and I'm still here, because most people, they suffer what I've suffered, they wouldn't be able to endure it.
Right.
So, and it's embrace my scars and that all the situations that were around me at the time can change.
You know, you saying that, for me it's a bit foreign, but I can understand what you're going through. And some people would say, embrace your scars, look at me, right? It's hard, right, Pastor David? It's hard to embrace. How can I accept this? I'm no longer the same.
Yeah, a person that goes through a traumatic problem like that, she's always wondering, well, I'm never going to change because there's something that's there.
Mm-hmm.
But we know why the pastor said embrace, because, you know, when we live by faith and we learn to live by faith, you don't live by what you are, but by what you believe.
Mm-hmm.
And he was trying, I believe, to tell you that you have to believe that now you can move onwards, that you can move forward. And I believe one word changed your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. You're not alone anymore, and you saw that there was someone there fighting for you, fighting with you. And I believe this is what many people don't understand, is that we want people's life to change. But we know that that can only happen when we practice the word of faith, the word of God. Yeah. And that's what she discovered.
So when you heard those words, what did you do? I mean, I take it you received prayer, or you were praying?
Yes.
How did you feel when you were starting to pray about what you were going through?
I felt light. Even after opening up to the pastor, I felt light, and it was weird because it felt like I had 2 rocks on my shoulders and someone just said, okay, now they're off.
Just by you speaking up?
Just by me speaking about what I was going through. So I started really taking in what I was learning. But at first I kind of stopped and started because the thoughts would still come at times, and I'm like, oh my gosh, so I don't feel right today, or I kind of feel depressed today. But then I'm like, okay, so no, this is what I'm supposed to do, so I'm going to do it, and just taking little steps here and there to move on. Right.
Now, I remember you saying in the previous part of the program that you prayed when you were younger. You were praying, so you had a belief in God.
Yeah.
Right? But you never saw, your faith wasn't like an active faith, a faith that could kind of grab God's attention.
Yeah, most of the time when I would pray, it's like I'll be like, God, why did you do this to me?
Right.
I kind of put the blame, saying, why me? Do you hate me? What have I done? I'm only a little girl. Or I used to pray and be like, please change the situation because I don't want it to be like this anymore.
But now I believe you learned that it wasn't God's fault.
Yep.
You know, when you felt that weight off of your shoulders, and you know the thoughts that's coming, you learned. I found the key now. I can beat these thoughts when they come to me. These negative thoughts, these suicidal thoughts. Tell us about the change when you started to apply your faith now to the situation that you were going through.
I had become less angry. When I started applying my faith, I was less angry and I was more open to talk to people who wanted to know, because before, if you'd ask me, I'd get angry within 1 second.
Like you said, you got angry when your gran spoke to that man on the bus, right?
I was very angry, so I'd be like, if someone was to ask me on the bus or when I was walking, I would tell them, be more open. I started to notice I was confident, especially in the activities that I would do, and just smiling more, which is really foreign to me.
Some people would hide their scars. Did you do that?
At first I did, and it was kind of hard to adjust to wearing something that was short sleeve or wearing a skirt or things like this, but then I started to push myself. So I'd wear t-shirts. I would wear like a t-shirt without bringing a jacket or bringing something to cover the rest of my arms. I'd embrace it. I'd start to wear like summer dresses and things like this.
That must have been hard for you in the beginning.
It was very hard.
Tell us how was that struggle?
It was hard because I was in my head. Sometimes people wouldn't be looking at me, minding their own business, but I'd still think, oh, what is that person looking at me? Why are they looking at me like that? Or I'd cover my arms and be like this, holding my arms, because I wouldn't want anyone to look.
And now, how is it today?
Today is amazing. I'm more confident. I'm not ashamed of my scars. But like I said before, I've embraced them. I'm proud of them because they're part of my story. I also like to help young people like myself who have gotten burnt, and I speak to them and I create videos in order to help them and things like this.
Tell us more about the help that you give to other young people.
So I created my own channel for young people with burns, and I told my story, and I'm actually releasing a video talking about how I got over depression.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, great. You see the change that happens. You know, sometimes when a person goes through this problem, they take everything on board, and she was taking everything on board of her. But then she discovered that through faith in God, the wound was not here. The wound was where? Inside of her. But when you discovered that you could heal this wound here, this outside didn't mind you anymore. And you're using it as well now to help others, because maybe there's someone watching this problem right now who went through a similar problem like you, right? And you changed because you were able to heal the wound that was inside of you. And this is the secret. This is the greatness of God, because when you are healed inside, the outside doesn't matter.
Yes.
It doesn't matter for you outside. What matters is what you are inside. And because you feel beautiful now inside, you don't care about outside. Outside's just an example to help others who may go through the same problem that you went through, right?
Now you're making videos, right?
Yeah.
You've got your own YouTube channel.
Yes.
And what are you sharing? What are you saying on your YouTube channel?
I talk about my story. I'm in the process of making new videos on how I was depressed and how I got over my depression as well. But I'm also creating a video where I'm going to talk about questions people ask about my burns, because some people, they feel kind of scared to ask me sometimes, but I'm quite open, so just things like that, different platforms.
Now, are people who are asking you questions on your social media channel, are they, have they gone through similar things, or just people interested in your story?
There are people who have gone through similar things, such as my friends who have burns as well, but most of the people are interested and they've subscribed and things like this.
Right, okay. So you're putting something back into society, right?
Yeah.
You're helping other people because, through your faith, right?
Yes.
You are now this confident young woman, and I can't believe I'm saying it now for the 5th or 6th time. You are only 18 years old. It's great to hear this. And what are your plans for the future?
I'm going on to my next year of college, so I really want to do well in my last year of A-levels. I want to go to university and start criminology, but I also want to create a bigger campaign for the young people and young people with burns as well.
Great. I hope that will go forward. I mean, if you've reached this far, I'm sure it's going to be a success in the future. Thank you very much for coming and sharing your story with us.
Thank you.
Now, Pastor David, amazing.
Wonderful.
We see how, she's able to come and share her story, whereas adults who have gone through this, they kind of turn to drink, they turn to something else to hide, as you said, the pain that's still inside. They beat themselves up because of what's happened to them. But she's here, proof that God, He's the one that can change people's lives.
Yeah, she turned a tragedy into something beautiful now for her life.
Yeah.
Because she's able to move forward. And maybe there are people watching us right now that they don't have the strength to move forward because they have not found this faith in God. Mm. They have not found this courage, this motivation that does not come from hers physically. Because for sure, in her mind, like she said, she was blaming God. She had so many questions while she had this hurt inside. But when she discovered faith in God, truly, then she was able to open up, and now you're moving forward, right? You can see a big smile in your face now. You see, everybody can see how big is her smile because she overcame this, but she didn't do it on herself, on her own.
Yes.
She looked for God, and if you look for God as well, my friend, for sure He will answer you.
If you want God's help, then we are just here showing to you what God has done in other people's lives. And your life is no different. You can give us a call, the number's on the screen. And after the break, we will, as always on Finding Answers, at the end of the program, we'll be praying for you. Prayer does wonders. It's just a matter of believing and using your faith. If you want this help tonight, if you've been inspired by Tatyana's story, then stay with us, because after the break, myself and Pastor David will be praying for you. See you after this.
DKW, a different kind of woman. So I want to find out if you might have dyslexia.
My memory's not too good today.
And it's almost like you have to be this superwoman.
Years and years ago when I watched Titanic, and obviously My Heart Will Go On came on, and it just brought me back to that time.
And I was with 4 other sisters. Lord have mercy. So you know how they were. You're not gonna go over there and say nothing.
Come on, a little closer now, and let me know that you're mine. Woo!
It's going to be your turn to do your macaroons. No competition.
We're here at Britain's Top Designer 2015.
This is DKW. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Follow My Channel's updates on Facebook. like your favorite videos and see pictures of your favorite artists. Access our Twitter @MyChannelUK and get to know what's on with My Channel. Visit tvmychannel.com and be connected to our world. My Channel, a whole new world of entertainment.
If I tell you a story and you like that story, what kind of story is it?
It's a comedy.
No. Manchester
United.
I'm a pro.
Although I'm Chelsea. Love talk, time to communicate.
Okay. Say that word, but differently.
It's time to communicate. Right, so we are in a relationship.
What were you doing? You're not supposed to tell me the word. We are in a marriage.
Yes.
Okay.
And we are very serious about it. So what does that say?
A serious marriage.
No. It has to do with your brain.
Intelligence.
What?
Intelligent love.
Yes. See, I'm getting good at this.
Love Talk on My Channel, Sky 203, every Saturday, 3 p.m.
Welcome back to Finding Answers. Now, joining me is Pastor David. Good evening, Pastor David.
Good evening, Pastor Michael.
You okay?
I'm wonderful.
You know, just like our guest, we see how through faith, God was able to turn another life completely around. And we see that throughout the Bible. We see people who had leprosy, people who had, bleeding, people who were withered hand, they were disabled in some shape or form. But not only did Jesus heal them, he also removed the pain, the scars, the emotional, problems that they're going through as well. Their life was completely restored.
Yeah, what we see in the Bible is that he didn't just attend to the physical problem, but also the spiritual problem, the inside, the emotional side of the person. For example, if this viewer is watching us now, Pastor Michael, and she or he, doesn't matter who the person is, she's thinking, I want to change my life, but I don't find the strength in me. Like our guest, after she went through what she went, she didn't want to leave, for example. She didn't want to face her life. But once she found God, she found faith, things started changing. And this is what this person has to understand, because when Jesus heals, he doesn't heal only the outside, he heals also the inside.
Yeah.
And most people have scars, is not in the outside. It's the inside, that complex of inferiority. They put themselves lower than others. So when they go to an interview to get a job, they think, they will not like me, they will not accept me. So there is a negative side of the story that they embrace without even realizing. But when you go with faith in God, you start building up your confidence from the inside.
Yeah.
And of course, outside it will show.
I want to just widen the subject a bit. We're talking about our story for tonight. She had burns. But it's not just about the physical as such. It could be something that you can't change. You were born in the color of skin that you have, right? You were born in a poor family, for example. You can't change that. That's how you were born. But if you think to yourself, this is how I am, my life can never change, then of course you are going to be stuck. What you need to do is do what Tatyana said. I'm going to embrace this. Pastor David, how many people do we speak to?
Many.
They look at the scars, the tattoos. They have some evil-looking tattoos, but they look at it now and they have a story behind it and they say, you know what? This used to be me. I used to be like this. I used to be like that. I used to do this, but this is a reminder of my past. I'm never going to go back there again because God has now healed me from the inside, right?
Yeah, the transformation started inside.
Yeah.
And this is the secret. There are many people that, there are many programs, many TV shows that makes the makeover.
The exterior.
The exterior
Change the
makeover. They change the cloth. And when you look at the person, wow, she's totally transformed. But they don't forget, or they forget, sorry, that the true change starts in the inside.
And Pastor David, that makeover is probably hiding, as you said, the scars that are there. That no plastic surgery, no makeup artist can treat that.
It's true. How many people, for example, young ladies, they dress up just to call attention because they don't have confidence inside. How many men, they, toughen up, they go to the gym to build up muscles because they don't have that security inside. They are very insecure. That's why they try to change the outside. But when God is in you, what changes, Pastor Michael? It's the inside. And it doesn't matter the outside. The outside is a consequence, of course. It's a consequence how you reflect yourself in the inside. And that's only through the power of faith.
I'm hearing this, and you know what? I'm thinking about how God changed my life. God changed your life as well.
Definitely.
And we had issues inside, like most people do. But we're here today. It doesn't matter if I'm short, tall, fat, thin. It doesn't matter how we are on the outside. What matters is that God has changed us. And that's why we're here on Finding Answers. That's why we're here. We have no experience of TV, but we're here. God has transformed our lives, and we are here to share God with you. If you want our help tonight, if you want to receive this prayer, then get a glass of water ready, because right now we're going to be praying for you. We're going to ask God to heal the emotional scars, the pain and hurt that no one sees, which is on the inside. Now, it's time for prayer. My Lord and my God, in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, Lord, I want to thank you for the amazing story of Tatyana. She went through a horrible tragedy, and she had physical scars even till today. But, my God, through faith in you, she's able, my Lord, to have confidence. She's able to live her life again, and not only overcome the tragic circumstance, the emotional pain, she's also able to help other people who have gone through the same thing. My God, maybe this person joining us now in this prayer, their scars aren't on the outside. Their scars are on the inside. They have low self-esteem. They are depressed, and they hide what they do. They don't want anyone to know that they drink to knock themselves out, to try to sleep. No one knows about the nightmares this person has. My Lord, not even their spouse or family know that they are on drugs, that they have to take pills just to control their nerves. The anxiety, my Lord, the panic attacks that they have. My God, you are able to deal with all of these things. When this person is able to open up to you, when they can admit that they need help. My God, I pray now for this glass of water, this cup of water, whatever they have. Maybe it's a bottle they just filled up, but they want to receive this prayer. Lord, may you do what no hairdresser, what no gym instructor, what no plastic surgeon can ever do. They can treat the outside, but you work in the heart. You work inside of us. You remove all the hurt and pain that no one else can. No knife can cut that away. No makeup can cover it up, my God. So I bless this glass of water now. And I pray, Father, when they'll drink it, may this pain and hurt, may the physical, emotional scars, may the spiritual hurt be removed and be cleansed right now. You may drink this glass of water because it is blessed in Jesus' name. So, once again, someone who overcame all the odds through the power of faith. And we want you to tune in, because tomorrow we'll have another amazing story of someone who through faith was able to beat any kind of problem that people think is normal in life. It's not normal. You don't have to accept these problems in life. Through faith, God is able to treat it. God is able to cure. God is able to change your life around. So we want to wish you a wonderful night, and we'll see you on the next Finding Answers. God bless you.